Hello and welcome to wenll's Guide to DPSing Heroic Spirit Kings as a hunter. Um, so the main differences is at 30% the next boss will come out. In addition to that, each boss will cast some sort of a shield or ability on themselves, and flanking orders will now have 2 rows of mobs instead of 1 row. So pretty much whenever flanking orders happens, you just have to be on the lookout throughout the entire room, figure out where both sets of mobs are going to be, which you can see can't really see it in this one, but you can kind of see them. So you just have to position yourself so that you're not going to be in the way of both sets of both rows. This first guy has pretty much the same abilities. He does Annihilate. When he does that, you just run through him. Otherwise, you're just stacking on everyone for the swipe he does. His shield, basically, whenever his shield is up, you want to stop DPSing him because he will, whenever the shield is up, the damage you do will actually be reflected back at you. And that's basically the first boss. He's not terribly hard. It's mainly just about not DPSing him if his shield is up, to avoid taking damage from that, and running through for Annihilate. 30% the next guy will come out, and this, you want to basically DPS the first guy down as quickly as possible at that point, because you'll have one boss that requires you to spread out and the other one requires you to stay stacked. So yeah, that's bad. So pretty much just get him down as quickly as possible. You can see he's like, hey look, let's do pillage on top of all of you. Basically what Settle the Swift will do is he'll do pinning arrow on someone. Supposedly when he does pinning arrow, he'll actually target that person. So if you see him target you, cast deterrence ASAP, and if you cast it fast enough, you can actually avoid the pinning arrow from being cast on you. Pretty much so, like if you get pinning arrow, or if someone gets pinning arrow, just DPS it as quickly as possible and then avoid the volley that he does. Other than that, his special ability is he does a sleight of hand on himself. When he does that, you don't want to DPS him when he has that debuff on him unless he's stunned. If you do, you'll get the sleight of hand on yourself, and it will basically nerf the damage you do by 50%. Which you'll actually see me get it a few times. If he does pillage, just make sure you get out of that. Normally he'll just stay at range and you'll be fine usually, so. Yeah, I'm not sure if that deterrence thing works. I'm not even sure if he actually... But yeah, supposedly I read somewhere that it does, so I'll have to try it next time I'm in here. Okay, I guess he does target you, yeah, so... You have very, very limited time apparently to actually cast it though if he does target you, so... The next boss, Zanzel, the Endless or whatever, he still summons little skull dudes. Just make sure you kite them out of the raid and kill them. Once they're out of the raid, they'll drop little pulls of shadow stuff. Other than that, the main thing, or the main things he does is his shield that he puts on himself. You absolutely cannot DPS him when he has a shield on himself, because it will do massive AoE damage to everyone and pretty much probably wipe the raid. So whenever he does a shield on himself, make sure you don't DPS him at all and spam Trink Shot to get the shield off of him. Also, if you can, try to interrupt the Shadow Blast he does. But it's mainly just about killing little shadow skulls and Trink Shotting that shield off of them. Another trick with the flanking orders, which I kind of found myself. I don't know if it works 100% of the time, but I found it actually does work at least part of the time. It worked pretty much every time I tried it, so I don't know if it works all the time or just some of the time. But if you find yourself basically in the middle of a flanking order and you just aren't able to do anything, like you don't know where to run or whatever, and you're basically trapped from a flanking order, if you disengage past, like actually disengage through the flanking order, the rows of the flanking order, then apparently they will not harm you. I don't know if it works every time, but every time I've tried it so far, the few times I've tried it, I was able to disengage through the flanking order and they did not harm me. So if you find yourself trapped, as a last resort, you can try to disengage through the flanking order to get past them. So the final boss, basically what he does is he still does Maddening Shout, so you want to stack up and get out of that whenever that's done. Other than that, whenever he's doing, he'll cast like a, what was it, Delirious or something, and basically what that does is he gets his stacks of energy a lot faster whenever it's on him. You want to dispel it whenever it's low, and then whenever it's fast, or whenever he's at very high stacks of energy, you want to actually keep it on him until he so you can see he's at high stacks, so we're not going to dispel. Well, apparently someone dispelled. But basically how he works is he's got two things. One, he'll do increased, crazed. Well, he's got cowardice right now, and cowardice, basically that means his damage will be reflected back at you. The more of that energy he has, the more damage will be reflected back. So as you can see, once he hits 50%, we don't dispel that, so that it'll get whenever it gets 50%, we don't dispel that. So you can see I actually disengaged right through that one mob there and I didn't get hit. But yeah, basically whenever he's got that on him, at 50% don't dispel it. Before 50% dispel it. Crazed, you don't really have to worry about yourself. That just more affects the tanks. But whenever he has cowardice, which is the other debuff, crazed kind of looks like a little eye. Cowardice, I don't know what it looks like. He has cowardice right now, and cowardice basically that will just make it so that your part of your damage is dealt back to you. So you've got to watch out for cowardice whenever he has that up, like he does right now. So because of that, you don't want to dispel. Someone just dispelled again. Why would they do that? but you don't want to dispel the enrage that he has whenever he does cowardice above 50%, because you want to get past that. You want him to gain energy a lot faster after 50% so that it'll get through quicker. So pretty much that's how you kill heroic Spirit Kings. That was our first kill. So hope you found this guide helpful, and thanks for watching.